Tamara Overby, and I'm going to go over how to label a pituitary gland with the acidophil cell, basophil cell, and the nucleus of the pituitary. So I'm going to turn my camera around to my computer. Okay, so if you're, let's see if you can zoom in here. If we're looking at the acidophil cell, we're going to know the difference between the acidophil and the basophil cell. Basically, the way that they stain, if you're staining them, the basophil cell is, they stain those and they kind of get a blue coloring, like a dark blue coloring in this area. These little tiny circles, they kind of look more purple on my screen. But basically they're the basophil cells, which are with the white blood cells, and they're there to go towards any kind of infection or invaders in our body. And the acidophil cell, which is more of a reddish color tint. Let's see if I can find one. It's more like right here, because you see like the dark is basophil and the lighter color right here is the acidophil. More right here, you can see the lighter coloring in this area. Let's see. And on the nucleus of the pituitary, that's going to be up here, and you'll recognize that with the irregular branch shapes. They are, when stained in a more dark purple is what they turn. So you'll see them attached right here to all the little branch shapes that are there. So when I label them, I just, I made this a little bit larger, but I just go over to the insert onto shapes, and I use my arrow, and then I go down for my basophil cell, and I would just aim my arrow right at the basophil cell, right there, make it a little bit darker. And then I go to draw a text box. I know there's different ways to do it, that's just how I do it. And then I make a little box, and I usually make it bold for the lettering, and then just type in the basophil cell so that you can see where that goes, and then you can just shrink it to the size. So again, your basophil cell is your blue ones that are kind of floating. They're the darker one on the darker side of the actual area here. They're in the darker ones, and then the lighter ones would be your acidophil cells. And I label those. I'm gonna make a longer one right on here. Darken it and draw another text box. And that's your acidophil cell. And you can make them bolder or whatever. Okay, and last is again our pituitary, the nucleus of the pituitary, and the nucleus would be in the very center of it, of this. You can see kind of the center is a little bit lighter on them if my arrow doesn't go over it, but in the very center of the cell is a white kind of little circle area. Inside of it's like a ball, and then on that interface of it is where your nucleus is at. So you have your nucleolus in the middle of it, and your nucleus is kind of surrounding that. And draw my text box for my pituitary. And pretty much that is how I would identify them. So your branches here, you have your bit is the pituitary, your darker when stained, more, you'll notice the darker circles is a basophil, and your acidophil is your lighter ones after being stained. Okay, thank you. Bye.